Are you the type of person who enjoys when content creators put like Subway Surfer to keep your attention, or do you find it distracting? Because I put it on my video recently and I ended up getting the funniest text from my mom. Now, if you're new here, I'm French, so sorry that it's in French. I'll translate in a second, but also I'm not super close to my family. We're working on it, but this was definitely me making an attempt to reach out by sending them my YouTube video. Was not anticipating this response. Time to translate. My mom is asking why there is an ad under the words. She's saying that she thinks that YouTube did it on purpose. I ended up having to explain to her that I was the one that put the Subway Surfer video there to keep people's attention, and she was like, well, that was so distracting. But here's the thing that I thought that was so fascinating about it is that even in the comments, it was a pretty split reaction. There were a lot of people saying that they could not have watched the video without the Subway Surfers, and that it really helped them get over the dense material. But then others were saying that it actually was so distracting that they had to put their phone down in order to just listen to what I had to say. I think it's a really good example of the fact that we call people who don't have ADHD or autism neurotypical, but I'm really starting to wonder how neurotypical it is for people to still have that mindset, to not have attention issues, to not have overstimulation issues. And the reason why I wonder that is because of the anthropological theory that I always talk about here, but I'm gonna go over again, which is evolutionary mismatch. Evolutionary mismatch, also mismatch theory or evolutionary trap, is the evolutionary biology concept that a previously advantageous trait may become maladaptive due to the change in environment, especially when change is rapid. And you can pause and look at this, but this is the timeline of technology, okay? This is just our world and data, but either way, this is the timeline of technology. Most of us can grasp this, thinking back to the Industrial Revolution all the way to now with AI and AI-generated images. Clearly, we're going real fast. Some would even say that we are going exponentially fast. And how is that going to impact us when it took us 2 million years of evolution to get to the brain that we have now? This is all happening over 200, 300 years. So this qualifier right here of especially when change is rapid, that's clearly met. But evolutionary mismatch isn't the only thing that huge exponential increase in technology is going to impact. It's also going to impact how we process time. Our brains evolved for when time felt a lot slower, distances felt a lot further, because we didn't have technology to shrink those distances. But what is time-space compression for those of us who don't know what it is, or people like me who studied this in anthro and clearly can't get the name right because I always flip them. But anyway, what is time-space compression? Time-space compression refers to the set of processes that cause relative distances between places, i.e. as measured in terms of travel time or cost, to contract, effectively making such places grow closer. An easy example of this to understand would be like planes or high-speed rail, where the distances feel a lot smaller because it takes us such a smaller amount of time to get there. So think like 200 years ago from Europe to America, it would take about 3 months on a boat. Now it's like 6 hours on a plane or something. So for those reasons, all of the distances feel a lot smaller. Time feels a lot faster. There are numerous examples of this. I mean, the older generations always dock us for wanting things to go super fast, but it's because our brains are getting used to that speed. And I'm not saying that we are adapting super well, which is why I think that we see such a big rise in mental health issues. It's not just that we're tracking them more, which I agree is a large part of it, but I also think that there is a cultural shift which is inherent to our adaptive behavior of trying to keep up with the technology that we are creating. I am also not the first one to apply evolutionary mismatch to mental illnesses with regards to modern society. This is far from just my theory. This is a lot of anthropological theories mixed together. I learned about it in evolutionary medicine, so that's the topic that it's under. This idea of time-space compression mixed with evolutionary mismatch is actually what got me to a lot of degrowth principles on my own, just from the standpoint of I want us to slow down, especially in Western nations where it's just constantly speed equals productivity equals money, and money is the driving force in society. My God, do we need to slow down? I mean, I know that this will come as a shocker to literally no one, but we haven't existed for all that long, and out of our existence, this level of technology has existed for even less time. All of this is to say that you are neither wrong nor right if you need or do not need the Subway Surfer in order to keep your attention on these apps. And while I acknowledge that the clinical framework of these disorders has a lot to offer as someone who's attending medical school in about a year, I do really see that. But at the same time, I think that using and incorporating other theories like evolutionary mismatch will get us a lot closer to the actual reality and to the truth, as close as we can get in situations like these. And this is also why I think that calling it neurotypical versus atypical is also weird language. But either way, I hope that you enjoyed this video.